The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down, then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase, don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything you need to know, the First Fruits Podcast. Let's go.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the First Fruit Stock Club. How's everyone doing? We are back at it again. I'm here every Wednesday at about 10 o'clock. All right, a few minutes. 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Check me out here. If you don't know who I am, it's your first time seeing me. My name is Donald Green. I am the founder of the First Fruits Stock Club, and I come here every Wednesday to talk about the stock market. So why do people watch us and why do people join the club? People watch us because if they're a trader, they've been inconsistent and they want a consistent income from their trading. We help traders, and I'm going to give you some information here to help you even if you don't join the club, to help you be consistent and earn consistent income, not just growing your income. I know everyone said, well, you need a big you don't need a big portfolio to generate a consistent income out of the stock market. Why do you need a consistent income? Because prices are high. Everything's expensive. Man, we just had a few trips, flying, 5 of us, 3,000, car 1,000, just trying to have a lifestyle. And if you're trying to have a lifestyle today, a great way to improve your lifestyle is to become a trader or join a club where someone can show you how to trade. And we do things a little differently, right? And because trading by its nature is inconsistent, right? It's inconsistent by its nature. So we do things a little bit differently. We develop a system called the First Fruit System. And the First Fruit System, what we do is we trade options, but we take our earnings from options and we put them in long-term dividend funds and stocks. And what that allows us to do is generate a consistent income, right? Consistent income. And maybe you have heard something otherwise about trading, where is consistent or investing in the stock market. I mean, if you're investing for the long term, right? You have a long-term portfolio, which we have in our club and in the system also. You really don't have to worry about. You do have to worry about being consistent because you have to put money in it consistently for that long-term portfolio to go, especially with a July like we had. It was a great opportunity to add to some long-term positions that you've had. But if you're trading and also, you want to generate consistent income, you need a little different strategy. And like I said, we trade options, we trade leaps. We turn those options into long-term dividend income that can grow for us. All right, so I'm gonna show you what we do and our goal and our aim. First of all, please like, subscribe, and share this show. Like, subscribe, and share. Looking to grow my audience like everybody's online. I know it seems like everybody's online and selling something these days. It's definitely different. But man, like, subscribe, and share. I like to get my information out there. I think it's valuable financial information. And also, let me do the disclaimer. The information provided in the First Fruit Stock Club podcast is for education and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. The views expressed by the host and the guests of the owner do not reflect the opinions of any financial institution or regulatory authority. Investing in stocks and other securities carries risk, including the potential loss of principal. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always conduct your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. The First Root Stock Club and its affiliates do not guarantee any specific outcomes or returns. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge that you are responsible for your own investment decisions. So, man, we had an interesting week. An interesting week. And well, July was a month, and I will admit I got beat up the month, and seasonally or historically, July has been a good month to trade in, and sometimes you go off of that, but this is not that market. This is not that year. July was a pretty bad month, especially if you were in the momentum trades, such as which we have focused in the club, and semiconductors and memory. I had to close out. Well, not all of my semi. I still have semiconductors. I'm still long semis, and still long memory. But a few trades, I was down so much, decided to close out. And man, this month, some of the rules that I've been using, if we're down 20%, just go ahead and cut the trade, meaning sell the option, right? And live to fight another day. It's been one of those times. So one thing I wanted to discuss is that for those of you maybe new traders or thinking about trading or inconsistent, why is trading a uh, what I think is one of the best ways to generate side income? There's two reasons, right? Two reasons is that I've tried other things, right? I've tried real estate, and on real estate, you earn profit on debt and tenants, right? And both of those are inconsistent, right? And you don't know if you're gonna ever get your money. And secondly, but I love real estate. Real estate has been very, very good to me. But it can be inconsistent. It can be tough at times. Business earns profit on customers, right? A business earns profit on its customers, where you're definitely going to be affected by market, the economy, all the different things that go on. You customers that could be affected, loss of job, change of appetite for whatever you're selling. You have to deal with all those different things when you're running a business. When you invest in stocks, you earn profit on capital. That means the money you put in, right? You earn profit on that. And yes, we're investing in businesses, but you let the businesses, and these are the largest businesses in the world, you let them deal with all the different things, the intellectual property, the customers, the debt management, and all those things. You let them deal with those things, and you just deal with the equity, right? We get straight to the equity. In the other two, you really have to work your way to the equity, right? Excuse me. You have to work your way to the equity. Therefore, man, I like, no matter what you're doing, if you're in real estate, if you own your own business, I really like having a side. I like even side trading or side brokerage account to generate extra income for you. And if you are a trader and you feel like you've been inconsistent, we're going to help you. I'm going to help you today is to be more consistent. So our goal in a club, my goal is to have for everyone to have a $10,000 a month. Last month we did not hit that mark. I discussed that. I had a few trades. I was there, but I decided to put my money back in the pool, in the hat, in the cookie jar, and I got stung, or I lost money for last month. So how do we do that? $10,000 in July. We want $3,000 to $4,000 in dividends coming in passively, right? $3,000 to $4,000 in dividends coming in passively, what that allows you to do is that allows you to make some mistakes, like I did last month. A lot of times in anything, especially people who are new, when they get involved with things and they see everything online and they think it's sweet, like there's no way I can lose. Yes, you can lose. You can lose money. I mean, it's and to the fact of you will lose money, right? If you're going to be in it for any time, and if you're going to learn how to be profitable, you're going to lose some money. In trading, you're going to lose some money. And if you want to make above average income, that's the fact of it. But you can also make a lot of money. All right, make a lot of money. So you have to put some risk on the table. So how do we do that? How do we put risk on the table? So dividends allow us to generate income. For example, last month is gone. We're here to a new month. Guess what? New month, I get new monies from my dividend portfolio. And with those new monies, those new dividends that come in, right, that get deposited into my brokerage account, guess what I can do? I can take those dividends, I can spend them, I can put them to the side, or I can trade to try to build up my 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 option account, right? Or what we call the risk account, and try to grow that. And then recycle the money back to the dividends or use it towards the long-term portfolio. But you have to have a you have to have a you have to understand that that you're going to make errors in trading. That it's not easy, but what we're able to do is with the dividend portfolio giving us money back, we're able then to take that and reinvest and start all over again. And a lot of times what happens with traders is that once you lose the money, then you have to go into another trade to try to get that money back. Well, in our system, you don't have to go into another trade, right? I mean, yes, you have to go into another trade, but you get the opportunity to do all over again. This system is not new. Warren Buffett uses it all the time. People don't understand that Warren Buffett, who's the greatest investor of all time, people don't know that he lost a lot of money. Warren Buffett has had a lot of bad trades. Probably his largest one is Berkshire Hathaway, the name of his company, right? The name of his company, Berkshire Hathaway, was a textile company. And textiles were going out of business. He had these machines. And what he did is he said, well, he's decided to run the business really, really lean, right? And he started to sell off these textile machines, right? He would sell his textile machines. He would take the cash that he would generate, the little bit of cash he would generate from the business and the textile machines, and then he would take them and invest them in a stock market or try to find a new business to buy, right? And he did this over and over again. And what he ended up doing is finding a strategy. Well, hey, if I have a business or something that's generating income for me, that I can reinvest and redeploy that money into the stock market, then I can win even when I lose. And if you don't know, Berkshire Hathaway was one of the largest failure that he had. And he ended up turning that company to a conglomerate, and it ended up being one of the greatest investment vehicles of all time, where he used that. We're kind of using the same strategy, and that we'll take our dividends and we'll reinvest in the long term, reinvesting them into options to even grow further. But having an income source coming in, especially in today's economy, is a boom. Okay. So the goal is $3,000 to $4,000 in dividend, $5,000 in trading, and $2,000 in long-term gains. I'm going to discuss long-term gains. I have a few stocks that I'm looking at. I think I forgot to put in some other ones, but Um, that's the goal of the club. But in order for us to get from to profit for the month, in order for us to get the profit for the month, we have to navigate the market. Right? We have to navigate the market. The market goes on the market goes is a behavior, it's a behavior in the market, right? So it goes from risk on, right? Where that means people are buying stocks, people have interest in stocks, right? To risk off, where the world is falling apart, the Strait of Hormuz is there's no oil, right? Gas prices are high, interest rates go up. It goes from those cycles from risk off where everything is crazy to risk on where people are looking at investing again. And we went through that cycle, right? Went from risk off. Now we're back risk on, at least the last few days. Today the market took a break. But we'll see how August turns out. Now, August is in regards to the seasonality of it, and historically, August has been one of the um, one of the most volatile months in the market. All right, so we really have to watch August. We have to watch what we're doing, and I'm telling everybody, I'm like, look, in the club, like, look, August is volatile, right? So we have to position ourselves in the month of August by trying to find the right place in the market to put in position. I've already had about two trades that did not go well from that were already down 20% in the last few days that I had to basically get out of. But that's fine. I have one that's going really well right now. I'm in Apple, an option of Apple. It's going pretty good, and I'm probably going to start doubling down on that one, and we'll see how that one finishes the year. Apple's really, I think it's on the second leg, and we'll see how Apple turns out. All right, so the market goes through these phases: risk off, market communication, and the sites of support, and then risk on. Right? We've already gone through those different cycles, but there's always roadblocks in the market. There's always roadblocks in the market. And so August, these are the things that we have to work through, right? Major earnings calendar, a lot of stocks earnings coming out. I'm gonna discuss SpaceX and also ScanDisk, where two of the stocks the earnings came out. Inflation, economic reports, right? Interest rates, the SPY and the QQQ, sector rotation, VIX levels, 20, 50, and 200-day average, support resistant levels, and institutional money. These are all the different things that go on throughout the month that we're trying to navigate. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But I think that I'm going to give you some two ideas that you can run with that you can go on a week. I like watching the SPY. Man, if you look at the SPY bounced off of 729.46, closed today at 769.79. And we hit and we hit an all-time high in the SPY, which is the S&P 500, largest 500 stocks in the United States. And we hit a the SPY has skyrocketed up, but we're at an all-time high in a SPY. But I believe that this month, because the month is usually so volatile, but you don't really know. I believe that we're going to be between that high of 769.75 and 729, right? 729.46. I think the market will rotate between these 2 points. And in between those 2 points, as traders, we will have to find spots in between those points that we're going to close out on. I think I'm predicting that I think oil will go back up next month, September. So I'm going to position maybe some oil plays at the end of August, and I think that's going to go with interest rates. So we'll see what happens in September. But I think you need to look at as we navigate in the market. those are some things we're going to look at. So if we can position ourselves in the SPY, like I said, between the point of 729 and its close of 769, right? I think we'll be able to find some great trades there. I like the SPY. I like the S&P 500, which you have the leaders of Apple, Nvidia. You have all the top companies are in the SPY. I think the SPY is going to make a move to close out the end of the year. Man, I told at the beginning of this year, I said I really like the SPY this year. Really like the stock, even though they all kind of have the same stocks in them. Technology kind of leads all the different indexes, but the SPY is a little bit different, and I believe that this SPY towards the end of the year will close out the year in a positive. All right. Also, I want to talk about ScanDisk. All right. Within the memory sector, ScanDisk was really really popular. So a lot of people made a lot of money. I didn't do any ScanDisk trades. I thought they were pretty expensive, but some people made a lot of money off of ScanDisk. I mean, in a club, we kind of focus. I do some larger plays, but really focus on $1,000 and below for our contracts, right? So we help, people who have small accounts are trying to build their accounts, people who are trying to build consistent income, and people who are trying to have a side income with have a side income and not trying to, spend a lot of time, starting a business and doing those things that take a lot of your time. The stock market is a perfect vehicle for you if you're trying to trade and get in. And then if you are a trader and you're already trading, you've been inconsistent. Um, the First Fruit Stock Club is a great club for you to join, so you can try our system and allow you to generate the monthly income, and then you can put the trades in as you want. I'm not the first person that decide on the system. This is something that Warren Buffett has done over time. Cash flow in business generating income, takes the income and invests it in the stock market and his long-term portfolio plays, also uses his cash and his business to buy the business, to buy the income, buying income, right? And but you do need those large, you need capital gains, right? Which are option plays to position yourself to get you to own enough shares in these funds and in these stocks, right? And it won't take you as long. You don't need a super large portfolio to do that, right? You can generate $3,000 to $4,000 with with a few trades, right? Put the money aside, and you have 3 to 4 thousand, and then once you get that, you can decide to double that, triple that, do more options to generate large sums. Last month, I traded Facebook was the number one trade last month. I ended up losing that in Micron, but Facebook was a really really good trade. Well, in that trade, it was under $1,000, like $700 or $500 a contract, and buying a bulk of contracts, and then and then end up making close to $5,000, over like 130%, and 160% for the Facebook trade. So there's definitely opportunity there for you. So in closing, one of the one of the things we talk about is we discussed in the club is SpaceX. And SpaceX has I like the price at 108. I think it's going lower. I think it will probably go to about maybe 95, maybe even 90. We'll see, but I'm buying right now, and I'm going to continue to buy, and as it go lower, I'm going to buy more. Even though I think it's going to go to 90, you never know who's going to come in and if it may hit 90 for a second, and you end up missing that price. So you have to consistently buy it. I even told people, hey, buy a few shares at the offering price. If you were able to get it, E-Trade allows you to buy it at the offering price. And if you were able to get a few shares, at the IPO price, that was great. Now you can purchase it below the IPO price, which is even better. Like I said, I think it's after the last lockup period. I would think it's sometime this month, one of the last lockup periods. But I think the majority of the shares uh, will be um, will be on float in the market, and um, therefore it's going to put pressure on the stock because supply and demand. Supply is increasing. Only a small supply comes on the market at IPO, but as people exit out of those positions, now the supply increases, therefore has to put pressure on the prices, and that pressure will cause the stock price to go down. Like I said, I think it's going to go down to 90, but at 108 is a good price, right? And we're going to own SpaceX for the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to do well. Um, you always buy. Let me tell you, um, I believe in buying stocks that are um, buying companies and buying stocks that have what's called a moat around them or that are very unique. SpaceX is a unique company, right? And I mean, I remember when and the first one of the first of its kind and one of the best of its kind. Not the first, I guess there are other companies that develop rockets, but in regards to the combination of AI and the rockets and the satellite, having that combination makes the company a very unique company. And my experience with unique companies, the market values them differently. And you have the CEO who a lot of people missed out on Tesla. So people say, look, I'm not going to miss out on this one. So you will have the Elon Musk premium to the stock. So I like it. We own it in the club. We'll continue to buy. I like it at 108, and I think it's going to go down to 90, but we'll see. All right, and but I would, if I was you, I will buy some shares. And but this is an investment advice because the shares can go lower than 90. All right, they can get low, but you know, I think you'll be happy if you look back 5 years from now. You did buy. I think you'll be happy. All right, so that is basically it for today. I thank you guys for coming with me, give me a few moments of your time. I think it's a great opportunity in the markets. It's a great month to navigate. We have a lot going on, as I discussed. I'll probably go into particular, but I think watching the spy and finding a few positions for yourself, I think that'd be good. And if you just want some ideas, right? Ideas that will help you generate money, and you want to do ideas yourself, think about joining the First Fruit Stock Club. All right, at www.firstfruitstockclub.com, www.firstfruitstockclub.com. All right, and if I can, okay, all right, firstfruitstockclub.com. And man, if you guys are interested, think about joining. I meet with everyone personally, so I can't have too many people joining. So, I'll be open. It'll be open for a while. And because I meet with everyone personally and we do one-on-one session, I help you get set up. I'm not going to drive myself crazy. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me again. Until next time, my name is Donald Green. I am the founder of the First Fruit Stock Club, and I hope you and your family are fruitful.
The market is volatile, the stocks keep going down. Then boom, we hit new highs. Everything is different now, but you don't gotta chase. Don't panic, don't stress. Time to realign, plan it out, invest. It's the First Fruits Podcast. We elevating with the First Fruits Podcast. No time for waiting, time to grow, give back, reinvest like that. Everything you need to know, the First Fruits Podcast. Let's go.